And 10,000 meters is next, and Martin Kano smiles down. He will be one of the rabbits in the race. A very strong Kenyan field, as you might imagine. But in the race, man right there on the left of your screen, number 5, that is the great Haile Gebrselassie. This has been the home of 10,000-meter great racing in Europe, and the fans respond to his presence. And this really is set up to have another fast race. Gebrselassie upset by his countryman, Kenenisa Bekele, and you know, he has really been saying to people, should I stay at 10,000 meter running? I got a new kid coming in who can beat me. Do I just go to marathon running? There's been a lot of questions in his camp and by Jos Hermans, who is his agent and mentor and friend, as to whether he should stay in track and field and try and run grade 5 and 10K races and still win the Olympic title. This is a race to kind of test where he's at.
And this crowd certainly appreciates great distance running. The world record was set at this meet on this track back in 1996 or 7 by Salihisu. We've seen a lot of great times in person as well as from afar run here in Brussels. And for a lot of people, almost 28 minutes of running may seem like way too long. For this crowd, they're riveted almost the entire time.
They really are. If you're a track fan and you're into running, you appreciate the changes in pace. You appreciate how fast they're running. And we're talking about an average pace on the world record of 4 minutes and 15 seconds per mile in that range for 6 consecutive miles. It's astounding stuff. We saw back in the pack there, American Bob Kennedy, as he continues his quest to be particularly fit for the Athens Olympics. He has said this year is all a building process. He's only run a few 10Ks in his life, and he hopes to get a good one in here today, although does not expect to be up with the leaders at the finish. And Martin Kano doing his usual tow-along job there. Number 5, that is Haile Gebrselassie, man who went more than 5 years without being defeated at the 5 and 10,000 meter distance. They're on pace to run the first mile in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Just prior to the 5,000 meter mark of the race, it is now a group of less than 10 men up in the front, and the pace is hot. That is Leonard Mucheru leading the pace as they are clicking off laps, averaging 4 minutes and 16 seconds a mile, and they've been doing that now for just about 3 miles. They passed by the 2-mile mark in 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Right, that's amazing. And there they're pulling along Haile Gebrselassie.
And he's tucked right in there in 3rd place, knowing that there's a number of people in this field who are certainly capable of running a fast time and winning this particular race. This race is not exclusively set up for Haile Gebrselassie. The days of that are now over. Gebrselassie has to race just like everybody else, but they certainly are setting this up for a blistering second half, as these athletes are very, very fit. They have just run a world championship race about a week ago, and they know now is the time, and this is the right place for an extraordinary race.
And that pace has been set up to have just that. And there's Mucheru, number 22, trains in Westchester, Pennsylvania, trying to pace Haile, pulling off to the side there, and at least having someone side by side with him. And they complete another lap in 63 seconds. Now, 400 meters, just a little shorter distance than a full 440 yards, as we know the full mile to be. But they are right on pace for about a 4:15 mile pace. He keeps clicking up, and look how many athletes are hanging with him. And as you say, the days of him being able to pull away from everybody else are gone. The Kenyans continue to increase the number of training camps, bring more and more athletes into it. Hundreds are now doing this. And the point is that you're finding now 19 and 20-year-old runners, as we saw at the World Championships, running with the very best in the world who have been at this Golden League level for 20 years or more.
And Gebrselassie now knowing once in a while he has to do the work. He has to press the pace. He's fit. He said his speed is there. He knows that he's got a competition ahead of him here.
The number 1 ranked 10,000 meter runner in the world, Sammy Kipketer, is in 2nd place. Haile Gebrselassie holding on to the lead. With just over a lap to go, Haile Gebrselassie looking like a metronome sitting on a piano, just clicking off the miles, 4 minutes and 18 seconds. He's been clicking off most of his miles, and you can see the acceleration now here with just over a lap to go. Look at him fly. He has just run, folks, almost 6 miles. And Gebrselassie is trying to get away from 19-year-old Nicholas Kemboi from Kenya. Another Kenyan just coming out of Africa here, shocking everybody with 1 lap to go, Dwight.
And Gebrselassie used to be able to just run away from people or set a blistering pace so he didn't have to run away from anybody. Now at 30 years of age and all of these great World Championship performances and Olympic Games gold medals, he now finds himself running a blistering pace and having just another Kenyan hanging on there. He probably doesn't even know this guy's name. This young man isn't even 20 years old yet, and he is pushing the greatest distance runner ever all the way to the line in a very, very outstanding time.
Talk about not respecting your elders. He tries to pass him with 200 to go, and I mean, that's the way you got to think as an athlete. Look at him try and match him stride for stride. Kemboy was an unknown athlete, has improved dramatically at 5,000 meters this year, and has only run a couple of tenths. Look at him hold on to Gebrselassie. Come on, Kemboy, you got to respect your elders, my man. And look at Gebrselassie hold on. A steering last lap, a tremendous time, and he hits the tape. One of the fastest times ever run. It is the third fastest 10,000-meter race in history.
And Gebrselassie only won it because he's a disciplined, strong, mentally tough individual, and he kept his form and his technique together over that final 150.
Nicholas Kemboy, 19 years of age, becomes the fourth fastest performance of all time and the third best performer. Sensational stuff, but he can't quite catch Haile Gebrselassie.